Hello there, crafty friends. It's Alicia of the Me Crafty YouTube channel, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing my project for the newest Oh So Inspired video hop. I hope you'll stick around, see what inspired us, and see what I create. Thank you so much for stopping by today. If this is your first time to my channel, I hope by the end of this video that you'll be inspired to click on that subscribe button below and maybe even tap on that bell for notifications. If you're already a regular viewer and subscriber, thanks for stopping back by. I'm so glad you're here. If you've never heard of the Oh So Inspired collaboration before, I'll tell you a little bit about it before we get started. So every month there is a team of about 11 crafty YouTubers who take the same inspiration piece and create something based upon that piece. And you'll see as you go throughout the hop today that everybody probably took something a little bit different or created a different type of project with that same piece of inspiration. This month we were inspired some embroidery hoop art by Sophie Fouchard. I'm not sure how to pronounce that last name. I do believe it is French, but I have her blog post linked in the description box below, and I'll pop up a picture of that project here on the screen now. Isn't that so pretty? I think there are so many different elements that I could take from that picture as inspiration. Before I get started showing you the products I'll be using today, I do want to remind you that after you're done watching my video, to click in the description box below and go to all of the other collaborators, watch their video, leave them some love. I know that you're going to love this video hop. Sophie's creation has inspired me to make a card, and I really like the embroidery hoops from her piece, so I will be using that part in my card, and I'll be making a shaker card today. Now, when I was at Dollar Tree last week, I saw this set of 6 note cards, and I just thought that these would be fun to kind of fancy up or jazz up. So that's what I'll be using today as kind of the background for my card. There is some gold metallic in there, and then those pretty flowers. Going along with the embroidery hoops, I will be using this die set. There are 3 different sizes of embroidery hoops. I will actually be using the largest one for my project today, and I'm going to make a shaker out of this. Because it's a shaker, of course, I have pulled out some sequins that I think will go nicely with the paper. I have a shiny purple, a matte kind of fuchsia pink, and then I have some gold sequins, and it's kind of like a gold glitter sequin. And you'll see here in just a second why I chose these instead of just something shiny. I will be heat embossing my sentiment, so I got out my Versamark and some embossing powder. I'll be using the bottom one, which is a gold. And speaking of sentiment, I will be using one from the February 2019 paper pumpkin kit. This was the Grown with Kindness kit. And the sentiment I have chosen to use is "You're the reason I smiled today." For the card itself, I have just gotten out a piece of heavyweight white cardstock and cut it down to a standard A2 card base. I pre-cut a piece of purple to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I will be using a mat that is 4 by 5 1/4, and this is a gold glitter cardstock from Michaels. And what I like about it, it's kind of a matte glitter. It has some texture, but the glitter doesn't flake off. And I also think that the sequins I used today look very similar to this paper. Now, I will also need some scraps of other items for my card. So I got a scrap of just lightweight vellum, a scrap of craft for my embroidery hoop frame, and then another scrap of the gold just so I have some gold for that top part, you know, the little thing that tightens the hoop. The note card that I'll be using today, when it's folded, is 3 3/4 by almost 5 1/4. So to make an even border on that A2 card front, I will be leaving the width at 3 3/4, and then I'm going to cut the height to 5 inches. Now, because this is folded, I don't need that part of the card, so I am just going to cut this in half. and then I will cut it down to 5. Next, I'm going to do my die cutting. I'm going to cut one entire embroidery hoop from the craft, and then I will just cut that top from the gold glitter cardstock. The last piece I need to die cut is my card itself. The way that I'm going to have to make this shaker window, because this frame is so thin, I can't really put foam tape behind it. So I'm actually going to cut this out of the card front, and then I will pop the negative up on foam tape, and that will give me some dimension for the shaker. And I do want to keep this inner piece because this I will end up using on my card. Because I am stamping on vellum, I want to go ahead and use my stamp positioner today in case I need to re-ink it. So I'm going to put my card up here to get an idea of where I would need to stamp at. To remove any static, I am going to use my embossing buddy before I stamp my sentiment. And now I want to go ahead and start putting together my card. The first thing I'm going to do is adhere the vellum to the back of the pattern piece. Once I have it adhered down, I will cut off that excess. And now, so it has plenty of time to dry, I'm going to go ahead and adhere my craft cardstock copy of the embroidery hoop onto the front of this, and I'm going to be using the glue sponge. And what this is just a sponge with some glue in it. And if you have something that is fine or detailed that you need to adhere to something, this is a good solution. You just tap that onto the sponge, and then there is glue all over the back. So while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and get the card base put together. And now I'll get that shaker mix ready. So my focal point is all ready. Now I am going to get the background paper placed down where I need it to be for my shaker window. And what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to flip it all over, and I'm going to use a piece of low tack tape once I have this in its place. Then I will take my ATG adhesive, which is a lot stickier than this, and I'm just going to cover the back of this pattern paper piece with it. So once that is all done, I'm going to figure out where I want the floral piece on the card. Once I have that ready, I'm going to press this down and make sure I really get that area that I put all the adhesive on, because then when I pull this away, because this is such a low tack tape, this piece stays exactly where it needs to be. To corral all my sequins into the area where I need them to be, I will be using my big blue roll of foam tape today, and I will just be making a circle around the outside of this floral piece. Now when I lay that down, I do need to keep in mind that I need to have it outside where the frame is, otherwise the foam will be seen through the vellum. This is pretty thin tape, so if you like a lot of sequins in your shaker, you might want to double this up. But for me, I usually don't put too many in there, so I will just do one layer today. To make it go around the curve easier, I did pull the blue release liner. I almost forgot the gold topper to my frame. I will be using the Xyron to put that on just so it dries quickly instead of waiting for the glue sponge, since I forgot this part earlier. I thought the card needed just something a little bit more on the top of it. So I just arranged 5 sequins here onto the vellum, and now I'm going to adhere those down with glue dots. I hope you enjoyed that look at how I created today's card. If you did, as always, I appreciate a thumbs up. Now, I hope that you'll go visit all of the other collaborators who again are listed below. And until my next video, I hope you're having a crafty day. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch all the way to the end of the video. I hope that you'll consider clicking on one of the videos or playlists I have linked above, and if you're interested in any of the products or tools that I use in the video, I do have some links in the description box.